it's a beautiful day in Toronto. I'm at the St. George campus at U of T. Headed over to Robarts Library just to see the rare books stacks, and also, because I didn't get a chance to return some stuff, so I'm gonna go do that. But we got until 5, so we got some time, and hopefully it'll be quick. Robarts, but man, it's just a beautiful, beautiful day today. Like tons of people over here on campus, as you can see, and just enjoying the day and everything. So it's really beautiful. The drive-in, I drove down Bloor and everything. I haven't driven down Bloor before. There's a really cool street, really cool views on that street, and that passes right by Rom. And then when you turn onto Queen's Park, then you'll get a view of the CN Tower down there, which we were there last few days ago, but it wasn't weather like this. It's just, you can't beat this. This is really nice. Well, there's Robarts on a sunny day this time instead of the cloudiness. Maybe we'll go check out the cherry blossoms over there later. That's gonna be some nice photos. Over there in that area is the reading room, so you can actually read. You can take out some of these books and read. That's for like research and everything, but there's tons and tons of books in this library. It's so cool seeing how old they are, and I'm guessing some of these books are probably one of a kind, like the only one. So that's so cool. All right, there's our cherry blossoms, as you can see. Yeah, still pretty nice. A lot of people taking pictures and everything, but surprisingly not as bright as when I came that last day. I think they're starting to fall. They're starting to turn a little bit, and this is nice. The wind is really making a cool effect where these petals are blowing out here. That's really cool. And yeah, I think maybe it was just that day was cloudy, so the contrast, that's what that was. But really nice area. Don't mind my face. A really nice area. Lots of people take pictures and everything. It's a beautiful day for that. Okay, so it's a bit windy today, but the Fisher's Rare Books Library was really nice. A little anticlimactic because all you can do is you can just visit that one level, and the rest of it is out of bounds unless you're a librarian or you're doing research. But even then, if you're doing research, you have to request a book, and the librarian will bring it out to you. You gotta bring it into the reading space. There's pillows, you gotta put it on a pillow and everything. So they really care. Some of their books are their oldest one was their oldest, I guess, possession was a clay tablet from something like BC. It was very, very old. Oldest book is from the 1400s. That's crazy. And they just maintain it through temperature control and everything, but it's pretty cool. It's open to the public, so if you need to do some research on an old rare book, well, you can go here, see if they have it in their collection. Some of these books, they're the only one in the world, or they were limited releases, and yeah, it's a really cool library, so definitely check it out. So there's UC Trin behind me, and it's looking real nice with the cherry blossoms making front, the old buildings. Lots of people taking pictures over here, and just everything looks nicer today because of the good weather. So we're really lucky in Toronto to have some of this good weather, because after this, I'm pretty sure it's gonna rain for a couple days, get a little colder, but that's Toronto. We just keep dipping in and out. You have the good times, and then it gets bad, it gets cold and everything. So you never know. Okay, there you go. That's the quad here, and this is what it's kind of supposed to look like. A couple more leaves would be nice in the trees, but see, on a sunny day, this is nice. Some people studying out here, it'd be a great place to just study, chill on some of these benches. There's like lawn chairs and everything. It's a very beautiful spot. Very, very nice. I've just noticed that UFT is so photogenic. Like as soon as it gets to spring and things start getting green, a nice day arrives, like all the photographers just flock to this campus. And I don't blame them. It's really nice. It's like, I mean, like, it's good that people are taking pictures and everything. All this beauty, right? Like, come take a look. You know, get out of your house, enjoy the weather, and yeah, the aesthetic's really nice. Beautiful view from front campus here. And it's crazy to think that in about a month, right? June 8th. We're like May 4th. Okay, yeah. About a month. Then I'll be graduating from that building, Convocation Hall. So, just a beautiful day in Coronation Park right here. Right by Lake Ontario, as you can see. Waters are a little choppy today. It's a nice day, but not too good of a day if you want to go kayaking. I think that's because of the winds, so we're getting a little bit of winds, and that's messing with the water a bit. But you can see how much these boats over here are swaying back and forth. Also, this is very interesting. This is actually the highest I've seen the water. So I guess we're at high tide, as you could call it, even though there's no real tide over here because it's a lake. I don't know how that really works, you know, how lakes kind of like the water level changes and everything on lakes, but you know, maybe I'll search that up later. But it's just nice. It's nice being here. It's a little chilly. Wish I brought, you know, a sweater or something, but you know, I'm gonna be walking, so hopefully I'll warm up a little bit. But man, it's just nice. Here is the Inukshuk statue right outside of the CNE, right by the water next to Ontario Place. This is Trillium Park, and over here you just keep walking along here and there's a nice trail that you can go across. Over here is an area you can take some nice photos on the dock, or like them just chilling over there. Just be careful not to fall in the water. So this area is actually a really nice area for walking, running, biking, you name it, whatever. It's right by the water and you just get very scenic views as you walk along. As you're walking along the water here, and this is especially in downtown near the water. At this season, around like, what is this? We're in April, May, so end of April, starting of May. This is where midges start coming out. Midges are sort of like little flies, but the ones we have, they're the non-biting midges. So they're actually harmless to humans, but they're just a little bit of a nuisance, you know? If you're walking along here, sometimes you might accidentally get into a swarm of midges, and if you're not careful, you're like riding a bike or something, your mouth open, you're gonna get a mouthful. So they get into these swarms because this is for mating and everything. So these are mating swarms. And yeah, as I said, they're harmless. They're good for the environment. They're an important part of the ecosystem. So, you know, they're necessary. They're just a nuisance, as I said, but harmless. So yeah, just be careful of those swarms. You'll know it when you see it. So after this view of the Toronto city skyline, there's not really much to see, because once you go around here, you go around that curve, you're losing a lot of the CN Tower. So the rest of it will just be Lake Ontario, which just stretches far, like, you know, as far as you guys can see. It's pretty crazy, you know, the size of these lakes and stuff. They look, I mean, if you didn't know if it was a lake, you'd think it was an ocean or a sea. But I'm gonna keep walking this trail a little bit, and then we're gonna turn back to get to the CNE. The rest of it is just water, as far as you can see. It's really wavy today. Down there, you see that there's buildings, cities, so that's all surrounding the perimeter of Lake Ontario. Out there. Then, over here is Mississauga. So that's about, say, without traffic, maybe 30 minutes away from Toronto. Okay, so here's Ontario Place. You used to be able to enter this section, but they are gonna be completely redoing this part, rebuilding, renovating, and everything. And yeah, this project is quite a big project. It's gonna take a while. But they're actually putting the Ontario Science Center here. They're relocating it. It used to be near the DVP, and now it's gonna move up here. It's gonna have, like, you know, venue spaces for concerts. Budweiser stage will be replaced, and the dome used to be a theater. And I think that's still gonna stay, because that's kind of like a staple. But they're just redeveloping the whole area. If you can see off in the distance around there, that's BMO Field. That's where the Toronto FC plays out of, our Toronto soccer team. And that whole area is the CNE, the Canadian National Exhibition. And that happens around the end of the summer. It's like August, September time, usually. And it's a good time. It's kind of like a fair, like a carnival. And there's rides, there's food items, lots of weird food items. There's the famous ski lift that you go, and they have a ski lift that they built there, and it takes you up. You get a nice view of the city and, you know, the whole CNE, all the people below and everything. And there's also a Ferris wheel that you can also take. It gives you a really nice view. So that could be worthwhile to check out. Here is the CNE, the exhibition place, and usually when the CNE is happening, this whole road will be closed. Actually, I do remember, I think the ski lift will actually be around here, this section. And there's a CNE sign and everything, so you can take pictures here. It's it's usually super busy during the CNE season. Now, not so much. It's real empty. I also forgot to mention that the Coca-Cola Coliseum, back then called the Ricoh Coliseum when I was a kid, that's the home of the Marlies. So they're sort of the, I explain it, the more junior team attached to the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is Princess Gate at the CNE. It's very cool with all these Canadian flags and a bunch of these sculptures on top of the gate. You can see, just based on this architecture, that the exhibition place has a lot of history. It's very old. It's much older than when they started doing the Canadian National Exhibition, and it was used for all sorts of exhibitions back then.